So, ironically, also, I have first a question to you guys, and that is, who of you did a Kickstarter? No one. Oh, one. Who of you thinks of doing a Kickstarter? And who of you is thinking of doing that above the magical six-figure Kickstarter, above 100K? All right, well, maybe that's interesting. Well, I want you guys, or the ones that want to do a Kickstarter, to prove me to not copy me, because not because I care that you copy my work, I don't care, but you have to know this, that the Kickstarter seems pretty successful. We run a Kickstarter in February this year. It's for a game called Deliver Us the Moon, and it seems that it gone right. It did. We managed to get 100K. However, it didn't went too well, in my opinion, and I will explain to you today how we actually ended up improvising on that fact, that we saw stuff going not so well, or how we actually created our luck there. First, I want to have a short, it's actually a little bit of an old trailer of our game to have a feel of what we're making. And here we go.
I'm afraid the worst has happened. Operation Global Remedy has failed, and we are looking at a vast depletion of the Earth's resources.
Should we engage on our final backup plan?
This astronaut is the only chance humanity has left for survival.
Are you aware this is a do or die mission? Once we launch, there's no turning back.
We have no choice. All mankind depends on it. Please, deliver us the moon. Deliver us. Please. Deliver us. Please. Deliver us. The moon.
So that's our game. It's quite focused on a large commercial market, of course. That's just because it's my dream. You know, as an indie, you can be whatever you want today. So I'm trying to be this. First, I want to tell you, like, who is KeokeN, and it actually starts pretty simple. KeokeN is me, because the name is kind of weird, but it came from like 15 years ago when I did a lot of esports. Back in the day, it wasn't anything special. It was, we had like, I think, prize pots of 100 euros, and then you worked your ass off for a couple of years, and then you won it. And my goal was actually to be the #1 of the world, and it was in the game Soldier of Fortune at the time. 4 years later, I achieved that #1 spot, and what I was thinking is that if it brought me luck once, because this was my nickname, it might bring me luck a second time. So, and the logo is a mascot of me from when I was very young, at a young age. But starting a company, you can do that on your own, but it's hard. So my brother, Paul, and Johan, a good friend of me, joined me on this adventure. And, well, I have heard it a couple of times, but I started to collect people that are better than me. So I got some people to help me on development, on community, on programming. We got some more people on audio and concept art, and we got some more people for the business side. So this is done because I love to make bigger games. It's just, we have tried smaller projects, but it doesn't seem to work out that well. So we are currently creating Deliver Us Moon with 12 people. This is not even all of them. And we decided to do a Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter, that was a ride. We have talked to a couple of people that did Kickstarters above 100,000 euros. And first of all, we heard that it is a lot of work. And I think that Leonie today already told us that it's very labor heavy. And that's true. It's, I think, if I am honest, you have to be a little bit insane to really do that, because, you have to be a little bit obsessed with what you're doing, because there's no sane human being going through this. What did we achieve? So first of all, we achieved a little bit over 100K on Kickstarter. We did a PayPal campaign after Kickstarter. I kind of regret that, because PayPal is, we did it through Humble, is paying for a product. And Kickstarter is not paying for products. Kickstarter is paying or pledging for a product. So if everything goes wrong, they, under certain terms, the investors, the Kickstarter backers are, fucked. So, not that I don't want to, that I want to mess this up, but the problem is that you have to deliver in a certain way. I would not recommend doing PayPal after, because I don't know, it didn't actually brought us much money in after. It was around 6.5K, so I don't know. Also, we had 13K of fan donations on Twitch, and more on that later. We had around, we did Thunderclap. Thunderclap like collects your, like a lot of social media of each and every one of us. And it would spread the same message at the same time. So you have like a spike in the social media and the internet world. We got around 500K, social reach is pretty good, but not too impressive. The most impressive was definitely Twitter, and Twitter got us, around 8 million reach, and that was not only because of us, but we kind of did things right on the community side. We did this before, so every preparation on that, we did this before, during, and after Kickstarter. And we first started by having 5 months of preparation, and it seems like a lot, and it is a lot. And I have seen people trying to get their Kickstarter up in less time. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes not, but for example, we were running preparations for 3 months already, and I was looking at it and was like, no, it's not right yet. We still have to take more time on the visuals, on maybe the demo, but more on that later. And suddenly I realized we wanted to release, I think it was November last year in 2015, but it didn't work out. So I was like, let's hit for February, and February was a good month. So we tried that. We did, by the way, let me see. We have sent over 10,000 emails to YouTubers, Twitchers, and press before, during, and after our Kickstarter. And the thing is, all of them received Steam keys. And the cool thing about this is, usually you see a lot of people combine their Greenlight campaign on Steam and their Kickstarter together, because it generates community here and it generates community on the Kickstarter. But I thought that's kind of weird, because I want to have people talk about this game, and I want to have people play this game already. So, but Steam keys are pretty important. So if you take a look at this email, this is an email we sent to Scott Manley. That's one of our Space Nut fans. Pretty good, pretty cool YouTuber. He even works at ESA or NASA, or is combined with that. This is the email we use to send out to these guys. And what is very interesting is the header. We had a header that needs to drag them in right away. And make sure that these images you use are small, because if it has loading time or whatever, they have bad internet or anything, it's going to suck if it doesn't load. So they were quite small, sometimes a little bit crappy, but Yeah, it's like I think there's around 200K KB, so it's fine. Secondly, we did a personalized email. However, we personalized it. That means that we used an Excel or a Word file where we just connected each and every Steam key and name and YouTube channel to each other. And then we just really pressed send, and then our whole email system got smashed because we didn't have too much bandwidth. Because apparently you can send out 1,500 emails on your personal, like we have a KeokeN account. Really funny. Because they called us like, what is going on? Like we thought we were doing an original old email bomb, you know. We actually did. So Scott Manley, so there's actually a little bit of personalized message in there. Or actually not the message, but it's especially the name. Thirdly, you have the Steam key, and it's like pretty fat in there, so it really catches the eye. In the title right now, there's no Steam key because this is, I think, the second email or the third email we send out. And of course, you have like a key shot of the game, like something that is kind of make people wonder, like maybe I'm gonna try this out. We got a lot of responses, and that's going to be for later. But the most important part is that you define your budget in the Kickstarter, and of course define and design your pricing. So I have a little example. First, we knew that for a game like this, that the Kickstarter budget we're asking for about 100K is not the budget that's going to get us the whole game finished. So we know that I think it's around 131K we're investing in ourselves, and we needed 100K to do investments, for example, in new hardware. All our hardware was like broken down, and it's really hard. If we had some sustainable studio money coming in, but it's hard to just invest in pretty expensive hardware. So that's where Kickstarter came in very handy. I wouldn't say that you can't fully estimate your budget for your whole studio. You can, but it's also pretty scary because if it fails, you do not have anything left anymore. So we know we could go on like this, but it wouldn't necessarily go faster. And also make sure that you design your, especially where your money is going. Do that really carefully. It's the most boring stuff ever, but it's very handy. Then you have the pricing tiers, and this is something I have learned from my business developers, and that's on the left side. You have a pricing tier of 25 euros, and that's actually for the full game. It has, I think it has, it's all digital, of course. It has your name in the game, name engraved in the wall of heroes, something on the website. We have a Kickstarter digital thing in the game, so that's cool. Name in the game credits, and of course the digital soundtrack. That's 25 euros. And on the right side, you have 35 euros. And the only thing that's added is wallpapers. Well, that's 10 euros for just wallpapers. That sucks, right? So below that, if you go this, you have 39 euros. That's 4 euros more than 35. And that's because then you get the art book as well. So this is called upselling, and upselling is quite necessary if you want to have your average pledge to go up. So people need to feel in some way that if I remember my dad when I was in the US for the first time, he walked by, I think it was in the time that the iPod was first out, and he saw like a small iPod, and he was like, actually, this is a pretty cool thing. I'm like, yeah, it's an iPod. So then next to it was like a bigger one, and it felt like, okay, so the price difference was around, I think, $50 or something. And he was like, well, maybe we should actually get this one. And they kept upselling us, and we ended up buying the most expensive one. So that's interesting if you want people to pledge more. And it's interesting to design these things. So let me see. Yeah, you can also see the result. Maybe I hope you can see that really well. To the left, you have around 242 backers on the audio edition. Then you have 43 dumb people that bought the wallpaper. It's okay. It's you still get the game, so don't worry about it. And then you have around, I think it was 205 backers. So you see it actually worked. People started to see like, oh, no, not this one, that one. So, and we did that in many places in the Kickstarter as well, to increase that, the average. Let me go. So, on to community, because if you want to succeed at Kickstarter, you just need to have a community. It's really impossible if you don't have anything before. So before we did the Kickstarter, we did a Greenlight campaign, and it generated a nice community. It's not too much people, but we got some people in. People liked the game, voted it in, of course, pretty quickly. And actually, it's the quicker you go to Greenlight, it's actually bad, because if you stay there for longer, you actually acquire more community. So at some point we were at the number 3 spot, and we kept on being in Greenlight. We're like, what the hell? Are we not good enough already? But then I realized, wait, people still see the game in Greenlight, and still saw, because right now it's not there anymore. It's not in the listing or whatever. So people are blind now. So we actually got in for a amount of 20 days, I think. Kept on that highest spot, so we were like, yeah, whatever, but we got quite a lot of people, so that was great. Also, and this is an important one, I think, in our process, is that we acquired a lot of email addresses at events, and mainly at the 2015 Gamescom. There we really got around 2,000 to 3,000 emails. So we already had something going. So during the Kickstarter was interesting. We got a lucky hit on a YouTuber, and actually, before I'm going to talk about that, because I have something special about that, is that each and every one that covered their game, we kept on messaging them, like. Even if it's like below in their comment section on YouTube or whatever, being in their stream, even if it's a guy that has just 6 followers, we really couldn't care less. It was each and every one is important, because we thought it like this: if he just talks to just one more guy or 2 more friends, it's just getting bigger already. You know, he doubled up the knowledge that he had or that he knew about the game. And of course, after the Kickstarter, so we kept on going on doing Twitch. We did a lot of vlogs and YouTube videos, and are still doing that today. But that was because we got a massive feature by Gronk. Gronk is a German, or was, I think he just got taken over, the biggest YouTuber in Germany. The thing is, he didn't just feature us. I think it was before the Kickstarter, he found out about our game, and I think I have met him, and I was very nice to him. And I think he kind of got in love with the project. So he did a special Deliver Us the Money stream, and he has around 30,000 live viewers. So what he did is, the full stream was about us, and he sent us, or actually sent his people to the Kickstarter. I thought it was very important at the time that people who were doing that they could see our response to this. So I immediately set up an office stream of our response and shown the people that we were actually happy with what they were doing for us. So this is a moment that I think was pivotal for our Kickstarter whatsoever, because this whole community got so attached to us that they kept on going. So we went up from 25K to 60K in just a couple of hours. And they didn't stop. So this was an interesting one. But we made mistakes, such as the demo. We had a demo that was very unstable. So I'm not really recommending that right away. So it can break or make your Kickstarter. We didn't visit America, so we didn't have any Americans coming in who have credit cards. So that sucked really hard. We were not specific enough, and we were very vague, especially on certain aspects. And vagueness is not, it's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing because we didn't promise too much. Secondly, we use the euro, not the dollar. So, of course, Americans think that euro is kind of like a monopoly money. It doesn't carry. The dollar is real money, of course. So that was not. We did a paid targeting Facebook campaign around. I think we spent around €1,000. Didn't do a thing. Paid American PR agency $1,000. Didn't do a thing as well. And also, none of our stretch goals have been made. So. People were kind of wary still about our Kickstarter. So to kind of close this off in a more nicer way is that we have a couple of takeaways here. So I would say take your time, do in-depth research, and try to figure out what you need and why you're actually doing this Kickstarter, and try to, for example, I think a good one is the Stonemeyer's Guide to Kickstarter. We use that a lot. It has a lot of cool features in there. Secondly, define your budgeting. Don't lie to yourself. Ask what you really need, and if you're asking less, and you have to know you have to make the game at that point for less. So if you mess up that wouldn't be nice. Define your digital and physical rewards. I would say physicals in the beginning of your tier system is really off. Physicals on a higher level of tier, such as like €80 and up, it's better because physicals are expensive. Get your pricing tiers right. Yeah, of course, use upselling. It works. People get to pledge more. Build your community before, during, and after. So if you do not have a community and you're going to start your Kickstarter, it's going to fail almost all the time. Or you have to be really, really, really lucky. But I think I've seen the most beautiful games fail on that. So then we have 6, pitch every social media influencer. I know people say like, pitch that one, pitch the specific one for strategy games. We couldn't care less. It was everyone got an email. And it worked out. A lot of people played our game. Understand the right anatomy for your Kickstarter. Yeah, just don't copy someone else's. It might seem very logical if you copy a successful one, but it needs to be your Kickstarter, not mine or whatever. 8, strive for clarity and avoid uncertainty and vagueness. A little bit of both. Sometimes vagueness is good because you don't want to promise too much, but it does scare backers away. 9 is the prepare everyone for a very, very tough period because you're completely smashed that whole month, so there's no development going on. We had some development going on, but that was because they didn't work on the Kickstarter, but that didn't go well. And secondly, a demo can make or break your game, can make or break your Kickstarter. I would say only if you have a really, really good demo that you have tested with a lot of people, you might pull it off. But I would actually avoid that whatsoever. So thank you for listening.
We have time for 1 or 2 quick questions before we go to the next speaker. Is there anyone who would like to ask Koen a question? Yes.
Hello, thanks
Hello.
for giving the talk. It's kind of a simple question, but you mentioned that at Gamescom you gathered a lot of emails for people to stay updated. How did you go about gathering those emails? Like what system did you use for that?
We had a really funny system. We had printed flyers that they were called Deliver Us the Moon, and we spread them everywhere, and they had to deliver us the moon. And when they did that, we assigned them as you're now an official astronaut. So we actually acquired them as enlisting to our astronaut program.
Pretty clever. Any final questions? Okay, well, oh, yeah.
You're talking about building your community before, during, and after. What was one of the biggest challenges to keep your community together? Because sometimes communities grow, but they shrink a lot as well.
Yeah, that is exactly the challenge. When we got around, I think we raised up on all our social media levels because of this YouTuber. And the thing is, if that happens, you have to grab it. And at the time, my girlfriend, she's a YouTuber herself, around 50,000 subscribers, so okay. She knew that I was like, whoa, what's going on? And she grabbed my laptop and she started communicating with them. So at the moment that happened, we knew that on Twitch we had around 6,000 followers suddenly on YouTube, that we had to do those things immediately, also from the level that they expect from a Twitcher or a YouTuber at that stage. So that's what I tell you, I went insane. So it's kind of, that's why I'm a little bit obsessed with the company and the game. You have to go not an extra mile, but like 1 million extra miles to fix that. And then you kind of keep the majority.
Okay, thank you very much. One final round of applause for Koen Deetman.